Hello and welcome to A Light Chat. It's a new short interview series talking about all things relevant to lighting. Our resident expert is Frank Grobmeyer, who has over 30 years in lighting. Today's special guest is Tiny Runge out of Bayview Electric in Detroit, Michigan. Today's topic is going to be spring thaws brings lighting flaws. I think we got a lot to talk about here, guys. So welcome to the show.
Tiny, the first thing I want to ask is, you're from the Detroit area. I'm from Chicago. So we live in the northern part of the country and we've experienced quite a few brutal winters in our lifetime. And, sometimes those cause a lot of problems, not just to our physical structures of our homes, but also to the electrical wiring and some of the lighting. And we don't discover that until the spring. So I was wondering if you could maybe relate some of the experiences you've seen in the spring and some of the things you've discovered at customers that they had to correct.
We get, if you're a commercial property owner, we have snow plows that run into pole bases, or run into poles. Always inspect the bases of your poles, or ground lighting, make sure that they weren't hit by snow plows. A lot of the like flag lighting ends up getting buried under the snow and can get water damage and start have short circuit issues. So always start by inspecting that. And then if you have the square pole bases, covers, pick those up, make sure there's not something hasn't built a nest underneath there. It's pretty common for us to find, mouse nest and stuff underneath there. And, we've had fires inside of poles from birds' nests that come in from the top or come in from the bottom, and it fills the pole full of, sticks and twigs and stuff. And then, something happens and it catches on fire. So make sure, that's the, you take a quick look at that. Snow plows, it's pretty common for, snow plow trucks to back into things or, cause damage to that type of stuff,
Does no one teach them how to drive?
No, I'll tell you, we lost, just last year, over this past winter here, the 2021, one day we had 3 poles come down hit by snow plows. So always inspect your poles. If the poles have any age to them, like 20 plus years, it's not uncommon for us to see a lot of rust on the poles, from salt, things like that. Any kind of in-ground junction boxes, they fill full of water and basically it has salt in it too because of the, with the road salt and sidewalk salt. So,
that's one thing I think people don't really realize is, our friends down south think, when it gets cold or snows a little bit down there, get some ice, they use sand. But up here in the north, we use rock salt, and that's very corrosive.
Yeah, and it makes salt water, which is a good conductor, so.
Yeah.
Do you have any fun stories about animal invasions? I mean, you're talking about birds' nests. Anything worse than a bird?
No, we found some dead animals inside of poles before, squirrels and stuff. That's not uncommon, we've had, squirrels get into transformers and stuff like that, and they get, the outcome isn't good for the squirrel, Down south, when I was down in Florida, the scorpions used to be in all the electrical equipment down there. That was pretty common for us to, we always carried spray, to wipe out the scorpions when we'd open something up,
Are you saying there's no scorpions in Michigan?
There's no scorpions in Michigan that I know of. Let's put it outside of a pet store or something like that, But no, it's not uncommon to see, to have animals, especially anything that produces warmth, which, from an animal standpoint, it makes perfectly good sense. It's in the wintertime and you find something warm, you're going to build a nest next to it, which tends to be a light fixture.
One of the things that you need to take a look at is, you get storms in the winter, but sometimes these spring storms are, at least in the Midwest here, are a lot more brutal than even the winter storms.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the things that you should keep an eye out for? I would think, you make sure your generators are up to date, make sure your lighting fixtures. I mean, what kind of things have you seen happen because of spring storms that people need to be aware of?
We've lost some poles, like people have put banners and stuff on light poles. And they're not designed for that. They have a wind load rating on the poles, and that creates some problems. We've had
So it
poles.
becomes a sale.
It does. If you get a pole that's not designed for that, it becomes a very nice sail. Actually, we've lost a couple poles. That's another thing. You should go around and tap on the bases of your poles, make sure they're nice and solid.
The spring's coming. I want to do a nice remodel on my outdoor patio. I'm also remodeling my basement. And so with a lot of these remodels, I'm putting in electronics. So I'm putting a lot bigger load on my system than I had in the past. I know a lot of people start to do remodels during the spring and in the summer. So, and some of the things you might not be aware of is when you're adding all these electronics, my 140-inch TV in my deck.
It's a big TV, man.
No, it's not. But you got to look at your load that you're putting on your breakers. Otherwise, you're going to have issues.
Always have, anytime you're going to do something like that, it's always good to engage a contractor. And I understand everybody tries to save money, but it's very easy to do electrical work per the National Electric Code. And that code is there to save lives and to make sure people get a quality installation. That's what it's for. We run into bad installations all the time, that we have to go in and fix later. You don't want to be fixing that after the walls are done and painted and you find out you have a problem,
Thanks so much for joining us today, Tiny.
Okay, cool.
We appreciate your time. Any other questions from you, Frank?
No, that's good. Tiny, your business is Bayview Electric in Detroit, Michigan?
It is. Yep. We're a commercial electrical contractor, been around since the 30s.
How can people get a hold of you?
You can give us a call at 313-255-5252, or you can get online to www.bayelectric.com.
Cool.
And we're full service electrical, voice, data, communication, video. We do CCTV, security systems. We're pretty much a turnkey. So.
And you're a YouTube celebrity because you're amped up with Tiny.
I don't know about the celebrity part.
He is. You can
my 5 minutes of fame. So.
In my book, you are.
Anyway, so again, I appreciate you guys, and so anytime.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode of A Light Chat. Stay tuned to the Natural LED channels for future episodes. We'll see you soon.